Why is Wang Lin in this ghost land, specifically targeting the disciples of the Daluo sword sect? Could the demise of the 12 really be because his Tianyun sect and the Daluo sword sect were already on bad terms? Actually, the main culprit behind all of this is someone who just appeared in the animation, Wei Yang, whose power is only at the late stage nascent soul. If he hadn't provoked Pak face first, I'm afraid the rest of them wouldn't have met such a miserable end. I am of the Daluo sword sect, the 7th of the Purple Division. Might I be able to spar a round or two with you? So today, let's have a simple chat about how this person caused this squad of 12 to be almost completely wiped out. As everyone knows, when the demon spirit land first opened, Lin Tian, who once gave these 12 disciples under his command, each a strand of his life-bound sword Che. Its power is comparable to a mid-stage corporeal young cultivator's casual strike. It's enough to kill in a single blow. An expert at the early to mid-ascendant stage, who lacks powerful magic treasures for protection. But this move is also meant for saving one's life. Unless it's a life or death situation, they would absolutely never use it. And for these 12 disciples, their main purpose for entering the demon spirit land was, under the leadership and protection of Tanlin, they went to place at the source of the Jiao Abyss in the Fire Demon Prefecture to find the Heaven and Earth Grotto Heaven token, as the eldest senior brother, Cheng Long, was worried that the Greedwolf group would steal the treasure and then wipe them all out. So, he took the precaution of having Wei Yang and Haiju, as well as Zishu, stay outside. This way, even if this person were to make a move, he would have to consider his master, Ling Tian, who, among them, Wei Yang and Haiju stayed in the Heaven Demon Prefecture, becoming honored guests in the mansion of Demon General Mofai. As for Zishu, he was developing his influence within the Fire Demon Prefecture. It is worth mentioning that the highest combat powers among the 12 disciples of Xianxia were respectively Xunyu, whose strength reached, and Cheng Long, who was at the early ascendant stage. Early stage Cheng Long, the rest of them were at the mid-nascent transformation stage, and late stage in terms of strength, although Cheng Long's cultivation level was far below Xunyu's. As the eldest senior brother, the strand of sword Che he carried was one that Ling Tian who had refined with his primordial spirit. Its power was several times greater than the others. After the 10 of them entered this Jiao Abyss, they split into 2 groups. Xunyu's group of 3 went first. After going in to scout the path, he disappeared without a trace. Meanwhile, Tanling, Cheng Long, and the others hadn't been here for long. When they were trapped within a mass of this substance, the only way to break out of this place is through a large swarm of wind beasts up ahead. But this substance they were in was the key to manifesting that Shindi token. They had to wait for 100 years for this substance to undergo its transformation. Only then would it condense and form through blood. All of this, as a treasure hunting expert, Tanlang was naturally well aware. He planned to wait here for 100 years, to wait for the substance to transform, and then use a powerful technique to escape this place. When that time comes, Cheng Long and the others who can't escape will become the sacrifice. The completely oblivious Cheng Long and his group tried to break through the swarm of Wen beasts. Those who were not strong enough died on the spot. So now, of the 12 disciples of Jiangxiao, including Cheng Long, only 5 of them are left. Realizing Tanlang had his own selfish plan and didn't want to leave just yet, so they ended up here, trapped for a full 100 years. The timeline catches up to the current plot of the anime. This Wei Yang, as one of the 12 disciples of Jiangxiao, originally, he was following Mo Fai King's orders, but because the Tianyun sect and his Daluo sword sect were already at odds, so he went so far as to challenge Mazi. In the end, he was met with a single move from the now much more powerful Wang Lin, who defeated him instantly. But in the end, Mazi did not kill this Yang. Instead, he let the man leave, because his opponent's final, desperate move had made Wang Lin's heart pound with fear, and this Yang had actually been planning to use the life-bound sword Che that Lin Tianhao had given him. But Mazi, that cunning schemer, waited until the man let his guard down on his way back, and launched a surprise attack with his killing aura. It pierced through his skull, killing him in a single blow. That Yang's life-bound sword, which he hadn't had time to release, Che, as well as his flying, all became the sole property of Mazi. Wang Lin was absolutely ecstatic about this. After all, with this sword chat, it was enough for him to no longer fear those at the Wending stage, or some of the powerful experts within it. Most importantly, there were 11 more streams of such sword chat. Mazi couldn't stop grinning at the thought. Later on, Wang Lin, with the help of the ancient demon Beiluo, survived the heavenly tribulation. Then, after 10 years of secluded cultivation, he finally reached the Wending stage. But just at that moment, that Sama wanted to devour the origin power within the undead, in order to restore its strength. So, it sent a soul avatar to kill Mazi. As a result, although Mazi relied on the stimulant nut's effects to defeat it, he was also heavily injured. Furthermore, the stimulant nut put Mazi into a frenzied state, so he followed Wang Jian, intending to go and kill this Samo. But, as luck would have it, along the way, he ran into Zishu, who was about to lead the demon soldiers of the Fire Demon Prefecture to attack the Sky Demon Prefecture. At first, Mazi didn't see him. However, Zishu, at the great perfection of the late Yin transformation stage, believed that Mazi was merely a heavily injured opponent, thinking that if he could take him down at this time, there would surely be considerable benefits. In the end, he greatly overestimated his own strength. Mazi, using his Slaughter's Awakening, directly killed this person in a single blow. As for Haiju, who was still with Murphy, it was later, because of the power of the Bone God on Mazi, that the Bone Demon Luo Xiang used Mazi to leave the Sky Demon Prefecture, in order to devour the demon spirits of the other prefectures, and restore its peak strength. So, it bestowed upon him a status that surpassed even the demon emperors. The identity of the emissary of the ancestral tomb. In the heavenly demon city, anything goes. You can act first and report later. Mazi directly went to Murphy's military camp without saying a word, and was about to capture Haiju, worried that his opponent would launch a final counterattack before death, and use Lin Tianhu's sword Cha. So Mazi first pretended to be capturing him under the demon emperor's orders, to get Murphy, and when his opponent let his guard down, this Haiju was struck down by Mazi in a single, lightning-fast move, taking his life. Later, through the perception of the ancient demon Beiluo, Wang Lin learned that Zhou Yi had been sealed by Lin Tian, who in the Fire Demon City's tidal abyss. Wang Lin successfully rescued Zhou Yi. On his way back to this place, he happened to pass by where Greedwolf and the others were, in this area of purple mist. With Zhou Yi's current strength and that of the sword spirit, it would have been easy for Mazi to escape this place, but those few strands of his opponent's natal sword Cha were extremely tempting to Mazi. Plus, the opponent had been waiting here for 100 years, so he must have been after something. Therefore, Mazi decided to hide in the shadows and find out what was going on. And at this moment, it just so happened that as the purple mist receded, the Heaven and Earth token was about to appear. Therefore, Greedwolf used a great magical power to escape from this purple mist. As for Cheng Long, it was because of the power of his natal sword attack, which was powerful enough to also tear open a rift. However, it only allowed him alone to escape. As for the remaining 4 of the 12 sword disciples, they were trapped by a gradually shrinking void, and fell into a panic before being frozen. In addition to being trapped there for 100 years, they had grown impatient and agitated. So Mazi secretly made his move, defeating these 4 people one by one, and seized their natal flying swords and that sword Cha. Later, with Zhou Yu's help, from the hands of Tan Lan and Chen Wu, Mazi successfully seized the manifested immortal Heaven and Earth token, and Mazi's gains from this trip were immense. He had a total of 7 zodiac swords, as well as several wisps of Lin Tianhu's natal sword Cha. This was also the true reason why Mazi later, upon entering Luotian Jinyu, was able on Ranyun Star to establish a firm foothold. Some old ancestors whose cultivation had reached the Yin and Yang realms did not dare to easily make an enemy of him when they saw him possessing such supreme did not dare to easily make an enemy of him? Although this sword Cha couldn't inflict a fatal injury on them, provoking a disciple of an old monster whose power had reached the mid-stage Jingni realm was something they wouldn't do. Obviously, this was not a wise move. Most importantly, later, when Mazi reconstructed a physical body for his son, Wang Ping, he still used these sets of life-bound swords from Lin Tianhu. So, in a sense, this Lin Tian, who could be considered to have indirectly made a small investment in Mazi. As for Shu Niu and the other 2, when Lin Tianhu later arrived at the land of demon spirits, he was also unable to find them. Clearly, they had already met their end in the morning and evening abyss. In other words, Of his Daluo sword sect's 12 sons of the sword school, only Qing Long was left, although only 7 of them had fallen at Mazi's hands. But Lin Tianhu indeed placed the blame for this squarely on Wang Lin's head forever,